Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today we're looking at the government of Western Australia, Department of Health, and we're analyzing copper in drinking water. All the FAQs that you might have will be answered here. So, first, what is copper in drinking water? It's a metal that exists in the environment as minerals, rocks, and soil, and is commonly found at low levels in natural water bodies. It also is an essential trace element that is required to maintain good health. So a little bit of copper isn't bad. Unlike other heavy metals like lead or mercury, a little bit of copper is actually going to be beneficial. But, as everything, too much of a good thing is a problem, and elevated levels of copper can cause harm. Copper pipes are used extensively in plumbing systems and in many countries in the world, and that is in the United States as well, and that's mainly where elevated copper levels come from. So when the pipes corrode, they release copper into your drinking water to a level that can affect its quality and safety. And the information contained in the guide can help you identify the signs of copper corrosion and provide advice. So, first, how does copper get into drinking water? So low levels of copper can be found naturally in all water sources. However, drinking water that has been left standing in household copper pipes for long periods of time usually is the main cause of higher levels of copper. So you can go ahead and run your water for a while and also do a flush. That doesn't guarantee that there won't be copper in your water, but it's a good way to get the water moving. So what are some potential health effects of copper? A normal adult requires approximately 2 to 3 milligrams of copper per person per day, which they can get from their diet. You can also get it from drinking water, but more than 90% of your dietary need for copper is provided by food. Drinking water usually provides less than 10% of your daily copper intake. And consumption of high levels of copper can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, gastric and stomach complaints, and headaches. And long-term exposure over many months and years can cause liver damage and death. So it is quite serious. Even though it's an important mineral, it is quite serious. Is drinking water test for copper? Well, that's something that you need to do yourself with either a kit or a trusted third party. And some of the requirements to have 1 milligram per liter for aesthetics to prevent taste and stain problems, and 2 milligrams per liter to prevent health-related problems. Now, how can you tell if copper levels in my drinking water are elevated? A low level of copper usually leaves a green-blue stain on taps, pipes, hand basins, showers, or toilets. There's usually not a metallic taste, and the water is still safe to drink. However, a high level of copper usually leaves a metallic or unpleasant bitter taste in the drinking water, and the water may not be safe to drink, and you should contact your drinking water provider or have the water professionally tested. Now, are elevated levels of copper commonly found in drinking water? Generally, they are not, but that's still, you need to test for it periodically to make sure. Can I reduce the level of copper in my drinking water? Yes, the easiest, quickest way to do that is to allow a flush, as we were talking about, for 30 seconds of the water to run and then go through, so it can cycle through. And you can collect it to use it in the garden. Alternatively, you can flush the toilet, and also water filters can be effective in removing some copper. Now, how do you test for it? Well, the best way to do it is through a third-party laboratory where they can go ahead and analyze the samples. Now, can you be tested for copper? You can, and it can be done through a blood or urine test. Now, how can you reduce your exposure to copper? While copper intake cannot be eliminated completely, and you don't want to, you need a little bit amount of this mineral, avoiding foods naturally high in copper can be helpful in reducing its levels, although many foods high in copper are also important components of a healthy diet. So the next best way to avoid elevated levels of copper is to periodically test your water for high elevated levels of copper.